The metallic screech at 2 a.m. shattered the silence of my new home in Willow Creek. I sat in the dark, coffee in hand, watching through my security feed as Karen Mitchell, self-proclaimed president of the neighborhood's homeowners association, wrestled with a key that refused to turn in my front door. Her face twisted from frustration to fury as the key bent like a cheap spoon. My phone recorded every second of her unraveling. After months of her relentless harassment, fake fines, veiled threats, and now this attempted break-hinged finally crossed a line. But what happened when she dialed 911 on me would leave the entire neighborhood stunned. Ever had a neighbor who acted like they owned your life? I'd love to hear your stories. My name's David Carter, a 50-year-old retired Marine who moved to Willow Creek, a quiet suburb in Oregon, in the summer of 2024, chasing peace after 25 years of service and a knee injury that left me with a permanent limp. The realtor had sold me on the place, a cozy corner house on Maple Lane, perfect for a fresh start. It's a tight-knit community, she'd said, smiling. What she didn't mention was the wannabe dictator living 4 houses down in a pristine gray bungalow. I'd been unpacking for barely 3 days when Karen Mitchell strutted up my driveway at dawn, her heels clicking like a metronome. She was in her late 40s, dressed like a corporate CEO, complete with a laminated badge and a clipboard she brandished like a scepter. Trailing her was a twitchy guy in an ill-fitting suit, trying to look important. "Mr. Carter," she announced, her voice dripping with authority. "I'm Karen Mitchell, president of the Willow Creek HOA. This is our legal advisor. We need to address your unauthorized security upgrades." I glanced at the doorbell camera I'd installed the day before old Marine habits die hard. "Didn't know we had an HOA," I said, keeping my tone even. Her smile tightened. "We've been established for 12 years. All exterior changes require approval from our architectural committee. The form fee is $60, plus $120 for processing. You have 48 hours to comply, or fines of $80 a day will accrue." She scribbled on her clipboard, and that's when I noticed the jangling key ring on her belt, dozens of keys, like a jailer's. "That's quite a collection," I remarked. She puffed up. "As HOA president, I hold master keys to all properties for emergencies and inspections. Standard protocol." That was my first red flag, but I was knee-deep in moving boxes, so I brushed it off, saying I'd look into it. That night, I did what any paranoid veteran would. I dug into her. County records showed no registered HOA for Willow Creek. Karen, though, she had a history: failed realtor, lost her license in 2020 for forging documents, divorced, living off her ex's alimony, per a scathing blog post from his new wife. By morning, I'd ordered more cameras. If Karen wanted to play games, I'd have a front row seat. Sure enough, she was back the next day with a stack of papers and an invoice for $4,128. The math was nonsense. $80 daily fines couldn't add up that fast. When I called her out, she smirked. "Processing fees, penalties, administrative costs. It's in Section 39 of the bylaws." "Can I see those bylaws?" I asked. "Only for members in good standing. Pay up, and you'll get access." It was a logic trap. Pay to see the rules, but you can't see the rules to know what you're paying for. I told her I'd consult my lawyer and shut the door. Through the window, I watched her storm off, keys clinking like a warning bell. That's when my neighbor, Emily Harris, a 65-year-old who'd lived here for decades, wandered over. "Met Karen, huh?" she said, shaking her head. "Let me guess she hit you with the HOA scam." "Scam?" I asked. "Oh, David, we've never had an HOA. Karen's been running this con for years, ever since her divorce. Started with nagging about lawns, then she got those keys." Emily's voice darkened. "She conned old Mrs. Ellis, who lived here before you, into giving her a spare key. After Mrs. Ellis passed, Karen kept it. She's got keys to half the houses on this street." The violation hit me like a punch. This woman was sneaking into people's homes. I upgraded my locks to electronic one-son-pickable, app-controlled. Karen's key was now useless. When her 48-hour deadline passed, she showed up with a posse of reluctant neighbors, announcing community enforcement protocols. I called her bluff. I checked with the county. "Karen, there's no HOA. This is fraud." Her face turned crimson. "The HOA predates digital records. We're a traditional organization based on community trust." She pulled out her phone, recording. "This is Karen Mitchell, HOA president, documenting hostile behavior at 112 Maple Lane. I countered with my own phone. This is David Carter, documenting Karen Mitchell impersonating an HOA official and attempting extortion. She made her first mistake, shaking her key ring at me. These keys represent the trust this community has in me, including the master key to your house. I smiled coldly. I changed the locks, Karen. That key's worthless. Her shock was almost worth the months of grief. She sputtered, naming neighbors as board members who looked horrified to be mentioned. One, Mr. Larson, an elderly widower, laughed. Karen, I told you last year to stop using my name. I'm not on any board. Her posse scattered, leaving her alone, clutching her clipboard. This isn't over, she hissed. I know about you, David. I know about your wife. I know why you moved here, and I have proof. My stomach nodded. What did she know? That night, my security footage revealed something chilling. Karen had been to my house 15 times in a week, photographing everything me mail, my porch, even peering through windows. She'd held envelopes to the light, trying to read them. I called my son, Ethan, a county sheriff. Dad, someone with unauthorized keys to homes is serious, he said. Document everything. If she tries to use them, call 911. The next morning, Karen was back, smug. I know about your wife, Lisa. Her obituary was touching. And that lawsuit you dropped against the hospital? Grief makes people do strange things, like running across the country to hide. My jaw clenched. Lisa had died of cancer 9 months ago, misdiagnosed for months. I'd started a malpractice suit, but dropped the reliving of her final days was too much. What do you want? I growled. Acknowledge the HOA, pay the fines, and maybe a $6,000 contribution to our community fund. An investment in your privacy. It was blackmail. She'd somehow accessed sealed legal documents. I spent the day gathering evidence, talking to neighbors. Emily revealed Karen had blackmailed others, like the Thompsons, who moved after she exposed their bankruptcy. The pattern was clear. Karen dug up dirt to extort compliance. But her obsession with keys, especially after Mrs. Ellis's death, hinted at something bigger. My cameras caught her entering my house 3 times while I was out, spending up to 40 minutes inside. Not stealing, but studying, rearranging items, photographing documents. I added indoor cameras and door sensors. Then Karen escalated, showing up with her lawyer, Greg Olson, to demand a mandatory inspection. I refused, demanding his bar number. He fled, mumbling excuses. Alone, Karen ranted, claiming to know every neighbor's secrets affairs, tax evasion, even drug operations. I doubted her, but her delusion was terrifying. She saw herself as Willow Creek's savior, justifying her crimes as community vigilance. At 1 a.m., my cameras caught someone else, a taller figure, not Karen, photographing my desk and leaving. A dropped business card read, Mitchell Locksmith Services. Mitchell, Karen's maiden name. She wasn't alone. A locksmith confirmed my locks had been changed from the inside, likely when I was at a VA appointment. Neighbors reported similar lock issues, all serviced by Mitchell Locksmith. Then, a young couple, Mark and Sarah Evans, knocked on my door, distraught. We're buying your house, Mark said, showing a contract. Karen had shown them my home, claiming I was selling due to health issues, using keys and forged documents. I called the FBI. Agent Laura Bennett arrived, confirming a statewide scam, fake HOAs, forged deeds, and property theft. Karen's company, Willow Development LLC, co-owned with her brother, Tom Mitchell, and Councilwoman Diane Peterson, was pushing for commercial rezoning. Karen went nuclear, posting a fake condemnation notice on my door, claiming Willow Creek's non-existent health department deemed my house unfit. Fake inspectors from Mitchell Locksmith tried to break in, but my panic button sent them running, leaving a clipboard linking Karen to the scheme. The FBI arrested her as she burned documents in her yard. But her sister, Diane, took over, hacking my electronic locks on a live stream, confessing to a real estate scam to flip Willow Creek for millions. My son, Ethan, arrived, arresting her as her stream hit 60,000 viewers, exposing her corruption. Then came Charles Vaughn, CEO of Vaughn Global Ventures, the mastermind. On a video call, he admitted his hospital investments led to Lisa's death. Cost cutting delayed her diagnosis. He offered $1 million for my house, but I refused. A federal judge issued an injunction against our defiant block party, but neighbors stood firm, refusing to leave. Bulldozers arrived, led by Tom Mitchell, claiming forged deeds had sold our homes. As hope faded, Dr. Rachel Lee, Lisa's oncologist, stormed into court with 5 years of recordings proving Vaughn's hospital corruption and Willow Creek scheme. The courtroom erupted. Vaughn's empire crumbled, his stock crashed, and he was arrested fleeing the country. Tom pleaded guilty, Diane faced decades in prison, and Karen got 15 years but found purpose teaching inmates fraud detection. Willow Creek thrived, its story a national sensation. We formed a real HOA, transparent, with no master keys. I served 1 term, then stepped down. A documentary later immortalized our fight, framing Karen's bent key. Opens no doors, teaches many lessons. Lisa would have loved it, always teased my sentimentality. Our neighborhood stood strong, a testament to community over greed. But questions linger. What did Karen mean about proof of Lisa's death? Was Vaughn the true mastermind, or is someone still pulling strings? Could your neighborhood be next? Share your thoughts, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories of ordinary people fighting back.